Hello, my name's Tina McDonald. Thanks for joining me today. Today's counselling conversation is going to be looking at some of the techniques that we can use to brain train, looking at mind direction, looking at how we can connect with different theories through counselling in order to retrain our brain to think in the way that it's more helpful for us. So through connecting with other videos that we've done through CBT, through NLP, positive support, we're looking at how the mind and the body together, we can work them to change things to a direction that might be more helpful. So number one, the way I'd like to work is to look at reframing. So to reframe, fear and excitement, for example, have very similar bodily functions. As we've talked about before, the anxious breathing, the sweaty palms, all of those things can actually be connected with excitement. So I have to go, or I have to meet, I have to do, and your body instantly reacts as though it's fear. However, if you visualize it as excitement, if you reframe what you have to do, back to the positive affirmations, the fake it till you make it, all of those things. If you convince your brain that actually it's excitement, then that's how your body then reacts. So it's about visualizing this on the good days, doing it with breathing, connecting ourselves as always through the soles of our feet to right now, the present, and saying, I have to go. I'm fearful, rather than I have to go. I'm excited. Let's make this an excitement. It's about encouraging your brain to release the hormones that will convince the body that it's actually excitement, that it's okay. It's not a place of fear. Number two, rehearsals. On the good days, if you completely rehearse the use of some self-statements, then you will always have them with you on the days that might not be so good. So working with a counsellor, you can explore which ones are good, positive self-statements, which ones might be useful. They might be ones that you can practice on your own either every morning, like a positive affirmation, or that you can actually then use in a specific practice time because something's on the horizon. I know that this one works because for me, public speaking in front of rooms full of people in the past has been something of a place of, yes, absolute fear. I can't quite say I've worked it to excitement, but it's along the way we are getting there with it. What I do is I rehearse. How will it feel? What things might be a little bit difficult for me? Why? Let's be curious around that. What can we change? What can we look at? How can we support ourselves? Because we know that this is something that's likely to be difficult. Instead of laughing at me making a mistake, can I ask you if it's all right? It makes me feel better. It makes me feel calmer. It makes me feel less embarrassed, whatever it is, that we use a word that we can practice together. So this is if somebody is constantly saying things in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's about finding a new language and then rehearsing how that feels, either before you ask or during the practice of using it in action. So scaling, this is something that I use with clients on a regular basis. On a scale of 0 to 10, when this thing happens, what number are you at? So it's helpful to know what number you're at the event that's making you uncomfortable, but it's particularly helpful to find out what number are you at just before, just that moment before you then go to a higher scale, because that's the moment that you can then reframe, rehearse, put into practice, so that the next time this thing comes around, you remember what it feels like to be at a 2 or a 3 rather than at a 7 or an 8. What do we need to do at a 2 or a 3 to stop the escalation? It's helpful to find out what fans that flame. and how can we pop it out before we have a bushfire on our hands. Number 4, thought stopping. These are for anxious moments, as we looked at before with our 15 moments that you could use, or even our 3-minute pause, that it is possible at times to just catch the anxious moments. So snapping an elastic band, having an elastic band here, I'm going somewhere, I know that it's going to be a difficult experience, so just before I snap that elastic band, it brings me back to the here and now, right now at this moment with this breath, so therefore I can then approach in a different way than I would have without having that pause, without having that reality grounding moment. Guys sometimes have loose change in their pockets, get into the habit. It's quite annoying for other people. However, for you, if you're going somewhere and you just jiggle that change in your pocket, then that sound, that experience helps ground you in now. There are lots of things. So this is physical NLP in action. This is brain training. This is, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to do this. Okay. And then last but not least, challenging thoughts. For example, if I, then everybody will. I can't because. So if you step back and you ask it as though it were your best friend and that they were involved, you ask the question, will everybody? You know, if I, then everybody will look, do, whatever. But if it were your best friend, you might offer it to them in a different reframing, as we started, by saying, but will they? But if they did, what would really happen? Would that not be okay? You could manage that. Would that really affect you? So it's about, what if you tried and failed? How awful would that really be? Might feel pretty rubbish at the moment, but afterwards, really? Would it really be that bad? And then think about it as if it were a best friend. Think about yourself as if you were your own best friend. So that was a little look into mind direction and brain training, all the different theories and concepts that can be involved. Particularly somebody like myself who's a pluralistic counsellor and can look at all different theories and use them throughout sessions. As always, I hope that was helpful, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing or liking, leaving some comments, have a look at my Facebook page, Tina McDonald Counselling, or have a look at the website. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.